At the birthday party for my Mafia husband, Galvin, I only touched one of his blood-stained cufflinks and suddenly gained the ability to read minds.
Galvin's a free floater. If it weren't for his rich wife, Marisa, supporting him, what would he be?
I read Galvin's thoughts.
Tracy's body is so tempting. Much better than my cold wife. Tonight, I'm going to find a way to have her.
Tracy, his employee, was with her broke boyfriend, Ruben. Her thoughts dripped contempt.
Galvin and I have slept together more times than I can count. Once I dump Ruben, I'll be with Galvin.
Interestingly, Ruben, the supposedly worthless boyfriend, was actually thinking,
My father's test is almost done. How do I tell Tracy I'm the heir to the largest Mafia family?
fascinating. Galvin, the man I stood by, appeared wealthy on the outside, but the true heir was treated poorly. It seemed I might need to find a new husband. I could hear everyone's thoughts. The crisp clapping of champagne glasses rose and fell in my penthouse.
Happy birthday, Galvin!
Galvin was surrounded in the center by a group of men in suits and ties, each complimenting his promising future.
Honey, you look stunning tonight. Come on, let me introduce you to the real elites of high society.
Sure. I reached out, habitually adjusting his cufflinks. The moment my fingers touched a cufflink, a violent dizziness hit me, as if an electric current passed through my brain. Suddenly, an unfamiliar voice echoed in my mind.
Tracy's body is irresistible. Those long legs and that waist are so much better than that icy Marisa.
I jerked my head up to look at Galvin. He was smiling gently at me, as if those lewd thoughts had never existed.
Tonight, I'm going to find a way to have her.
My heart pounded as I forced myself to maintain a calm facade. I looked around the living room, trying to comprehend what had just happened. Suddenly, more voices flooded my mind like a tidal wave.
Galvin's a free floater. If it weren't for his rich wife, Marisa, supporting him, what would he be? Just a nobody in the family.
Marisa's art collection is so enviable. If only I could get my hands on them.
The lobsters tonight aren't fresh enough, but who dares complain?
How much did this party cost? Marisa's art business must be doing very well.
I could hear everyone's thoughts. Tracy was one of Galvin's female employees. The moment our eyes met, Tracy's thoughts made my blood almost freeze.
Marisa has no idea. What an idiot. Galvin and I have slept together more times than I can count. And that pathetic gift from broke Ruben? A stupid wooden bird? Seriously? He'll always be a lowlife. I'm done living in poverty.
I gripped the champagne glass tightly, my knuckles turning white. I always thought Galvrick loved me and that our marriage was based on love. Suddenly, an unfamiliar thought entered my mind. Ruben, Tracy's boyfriend, who was a low-level driver working odd jobs for the family.
How am I supposed to explain to Tracy that I'm the heir to the Falcone family? Father's test is almost over. It's time to wrap things up.
Ruben wondered, what? This seemingly unremarkable man is the heir to the most powerful Mafia family. How interesting. If she knew Ruben was the heir to a Mafia family, I wondered what her expression would be. The most powerful Mafia heir in the city is right in front of her, and this gold digger actually wants to kick him to the curb. Perfect. If she doesn't want this fortune falling into her lap, I'll gladly take it. Honey, could you go to the wine palin to get that bottle of wine from our collection? I said to Galvin with a smile. Galvin's eyes lit up immediately.
Sure.
Tracy immediately got up from the couch.
Let me help. That wine's too valuable to risk bumping it. Perfect opportunity. I can finally be alone with Galvin. I want him to know that I'm better at pleasing men than that icy beauty. Her thoughts practically screamed with excitement.
Ruben also stood up from the corner.
I'll help too. No need.
Galvin interrupted him.
Tracy alone is enough. You stay here to entertain the guests.
Watching those two rush into the dark hallway, I smiled coldly.
I gave them that chance on purpose, not to let them betray me, but to destroy them once and for all.
Then die!
I waited a few minutes before quietly following them. Instead of going to the wine delen, I headed for the cigar room. Through the half-open door, I saw 3 men surrounding Ruben.
Listen, kid. Break up with Tracy immediately, or you'll be fed to the fish at the bottom of the Hudson River.
A bald man pulled out.
For you, get lost so we don't have to do it.
He responded calmly.
Then die!
The bald man roared, preparing to slit Ruben's throat with his knife. Suddenly, Ruben moved. Before the other 2 could react, Ruben had already slammed the bald man to the ground. Then he turned around and punched each of them precisely in the temple. It seemed I might need to find a new husband.
Defending yourself?
Just then, footsteps echoed in the corridor. Galvin and Tracy had returned. Galvin was carrying the expensive bottle of red wine. Tracy's lipstick was smudged, and her clothes were slightly disheveled. Galvin's expression changed drastically as he looked at his 3 men groaning on the ground.
What's going on?
Boss! This lunatic suddenly went berserk and attacked us!
The bald man struggled to his feet, pointing at Ruben.
What?
Tracy looked at Ruben in shock, her eyes filled with disgust and disappointment.
Ruben, how could you do this? Do you know what place this is? You're embarrassing me!
I was just defending myself. Defending yourself? 3 people attacked you at the same time? Do you think we're idiots? You clearly attacked first.
Enough! I've had enough of your violent tendencies. You're always doing this, resorting to violence at the slightest provocation.
Amidst the accusations of the crowd, Ruben was completely isolated.
He clenched his fist, his knuckles white as a dangerous killing intent suppressed in his eyes.
Wait.
I took out my phone and tapped the screen a few times with my slender fingers.
Why don't we look at the truth before concluding?
Damn it. Marissa didn't find anything, did she? I smiled faintly.
Hidden cameras have been installed in the cigar room for security purposes.
The huge TV in the living room lit up instantly, and the screen played everything that had happened earlier. The scene of the bald man drawing his sword to threaten. The scene of 3 men besieging 1 person, and the entire process of Ruben being forced to defend himself.
Break up with Tracy immediately, or you'll be fed to the fish at the bottom of the Hudson River.
Tracy opened her mouth wide, and her beautiful face became distorted as she thought.
Oh no, it's all over. Marie is such a terrifying woman. When did she install the camera? Damn it! Ruben isn't punished?
Ruben approached me.
I'm very sorry, Miss Marissa. I accidentally broke your antique sculpture during the fight. I will take full responsibility for the damage. I'll pay her once I no longer need to hide my identity. This woman is intelligent and worth befriending.
Don't worry about it. It was just an accident. A sculpture is not as important as one's safety.
Galvin's face turned livid as he thought angrily.
Damn, Marissa, she's embarrassing me.
The snow outside was falling more heavily. The city was entirely snowbound, and the roads were almost impassable.
It seems everyone is stuck here tonight.
I surveyed the room, elegantly raising my champagne glass.
The snowstorm outside is too serious. It's dangerous to travel. There are many rooms in the apartment. Stay here for the night.
I had set the perfect stage for Galvin and Tracy's affair to be exposed. Late at night, I pretended to be drunk and staggered back to my bedroom. Through the hidden surveillance systems in each room, I saw Tracy sneaking out of the guest room. She changed out of her red dress and put on the most expensive silk robe in my wardrobe.
This robe is exquisite, more lavish than anything I own. Once I'm with Galvin, all this luxury will be mine.
She said as she quietly made her way to the master bedroom, pushed open the door, and disappeared inside. I sneered and activated the high-definition surveillance system in the room, wirelessly connecting it to the home theater system in the living room. At 8 a.m., I opened my eyes to a cacophony of gasps and screams.
Gosh, what's this?
I slowly opened my eyes and smiled in satisfaction. I rose gracefully, put on a silk bathrobe, and walked up the stairs in my slippers. The exciting scenes from last night were being played in a loop on the giant television screen. The sight of Galvin and Tracy, tales so vivid, it turned my stomach. All the guests who stayed overnight were standing in the living room, each with a different expression. Some...
Turn off! Hurry and turn off this damn thing!
Galvin rushed out of the master bedroom, wrapped only in a bath towel, his face flushed red. He frantically searched for the remote control, only to find that I had locked the system. Tracy followed closely behind, wearing my nightrobe with disheveled hair and eyes full of terror. She thought,
It's over. It's completely over. Everyone saw us. My reputation in Cavrian's high society is completely ruined.
Good morning, everyone.
I walked down the stairs gracefully, as if nothing had happened.
Did you sleep well last night?
The guests looked at each other, not knowing how to respond. Galvin pointed at me and roared.
Marissa! You're insane! How could you?
Slap. I slapped Tracy hard in the face, and it echoed in the living room. I said icily,
Take off my nightrobe.
Tracy covered her swollen cheek, tears welling in her eyes as she wondered,
This mad woman. How could she slap me in front of so many people?
Galvin rushed over to protect Tracy.
Marissa, you can't do this to her! Apologize! Apologize now!
This is unforgivable.
Galvin seethed. I looked at his enraged face and suddenly smiled.
Apologize?
I walked to the coffee table, picked up the Patek Philippe watch I had given him.
You think I should apologize?
Crack. I stomped on the $500,000 watch, and its intricate watch parts scattered across the floor.
Marissa, have you lost your mind?
Galvin's eyes wide.
Damn it, that watch is worth $500,000. How could she waste it like this?
And Galvin thought. I did not answer, but instead raised my knee and slammed it into his groin. Screamed in agony, clutching his groin and writhing in pain on the floor. The guests gasped and backed away. Tracy seized the opportunity to run toward Ruben in the corner. She seemed somewhat indifferent.
Ruben! Let's break up! I don't love you at all. Since things have come to this, I might as well dump Ruben. Galvin's marriage is over anyway. He'll marry me.
Tracy contemplated. Ruben looked at her quietly, a hint of mockery flashing in his eyes. His voice was low and icy.
Break up? Tracy, are you sure you want to break up?
Tracy nodded vigorously with a smug look.
Yes. In that case, let's break up. There's no need to get entangled with each other. That penniless Ruben, what's the point of being with him? Get lost.
Ruben chuckled and gave a chilling smile.
Don't regret it.
As soon as he finished speaking, the guests began making excuses to leave. In less than 10 minutes, only the four of us remained in the large living room. Tracy was still trying to salvage the situation.
Marissa, I know you're angry, but it's all a misunderstanding.
She feigned a pitiful look with tearful eyes.
As long as I act pitiful, someone will always sympathize with me. Men all fall for that.
Tracy cerebrated. I sneered.
Is that so? What misunderstanding made you wear my night robe?
Tracy's face turned deathly pale instantly. I took a document from my bag and threw it at Galvin's face, who was still groaning in pain on the floor. I said coldly,
Termination of relationship agreement. The lawyer prepared it last night.
She must be bluffing me. She loves me so much that she could never really leave me.
Galvin struggled to his feet, looking at the dense legal clauses on the document. His face paled abruptly as he wondered.
How could she have prepared it so quickly? Did she know all along? No, that's impossible.
Sign it. Now.
I looked condescendingly at him. His voice trembled as he tried to grab my hand.
Marisa, you can't do this to me. We're husband and wife.
She must be bluffing me. She loves me so much that she could never really leave me.
Galvin contemplated. I shook off his hand, my eyes devoid of any affection. Without me, the penniless Galvin would still be struggling to survive somewhere. I had spent so many years helping him rise to power now. I did not want to spare him any goodwill.
Beautiful memories? Do you mean these?
I pointed to the screen that was still playing. Tracy glared at me maliciously, but I ignored her gaze and headed downstairs.
Are you waiting for me?
Downstairs, Ruben was leaning against the car door, a cigarette in his hand.
A wise woman is always worth the wait.
He flicked off his cigarette butt as he fixed his gaze on me.
Do you want to see Galvin get the lesson he resents?
I took out a black chip from my bag. It had my unique contact information on it. Call me when you're ready. Ruben took the chip and gently stroked my chin with his long fingers. His touch carried a dangerous temperature.
I look forward to working with you, Marisa.
His touch made my cheeks slightly warm, and my heart raced for no reason.
Interesting. This woman is far more intriguing than those who rely solely on their physical appearance, like Tracy.
Ruben thought.
Aren't you going to ask me what I want in return?
I looked into his eyes.
A wise woman knows when to ask for something. I trust your judgment.
He started the car. 3 days later, I came to the import and export trading company where Galvin worked. This was one of the Falcon family's front-end companies. On the surface, it was engaged in legal trade, but it was actually a base for money laundering and smuggling. The exterior of the building was ordinary, but the interior decoration was luxurious.
Marisa!
Tracy suddenly burst out of the office and blocked my way. Tracy's eyes were red and swollen, clearly from crying for a long time. Even her makeup was smudged.
You vicious woman!
She screamed as she pointed at me, her voice echoing in the lobby.
You set me up! And you stole my...
Everyone's laughing at because of this woman. I'll make her pay.
Tracy thought. The office staff gathered around, watching the scene unfold. Some took out their phones to record the spectacle.
What's going on?
What happened to Tracy? She said Marisa stole her man?
No way. Doesn't Marisa have a husband?
Tracy brought out several photos from her bag and held them up high.
Look! This is the evidence!
The photos showed Ruben and me whispering at a party. The angle was deliberately suggestive, making it look undeniably intimate.
That bitch Marisa has long hooked up with Ruben. She deliberately framed me and Galvok. She's the real home wrecker!
Tracy screamed hysterically. If I shift the blame to her, everyone will sympathize with me. People in the office started whispering.
So that's how it is. Something does seem wrong.
Marisa usually seems aloof. I never expected her to be like this behind in private.
The rich world is chaotic as hell.
A burly man stepped forward. He was one of Galvin's henchmen.
Marisa, you've gone too far! Tracy's our colleague. You can't bully her like this.
This rich woman thinks she's all that just because she's rich. I'll teach her a lesson today.
He grabbed a heavy ledger from the table and hurled it at me. I dodged to the side, the ledger grazing my shoulder. The next second, I raised my right leg and delivered a precise roundhouse kick, sending the ledger flying back at the man's face. Bang! The man screamed, blood spurting from his nose as he crashed heavily to the ground.
All of these are fake! You forged them!
The office fell silent instantly. Only the man's groans were audible. I coldly surveyed the room. No one dared to meet my gaze. My voice was as cold as ice.
Anyone else want to try?
No one dared to answer. Even those who had been recording just moments ago quietly put away their phone. I took out several documents from my bag and threw them in front of Tracy. I uttered,
Here are your bank records of misappropriated and training family funds to curry favor with Galvin. Should I have the accountant read them to you in public?
Tracy's face paled instantly, wondering,
How did she get these? These records should be confidential. No way.
Tracy trembled as she picked up the documents and looked at the detailed transaction records on them. Every transaction was stated clearly: embezzled company funds to purchase luxury goods, money transferred to Galvin's personal account, and even her spending at high-end restaurants using the company's credit card.
Stop! All of these are fake! You forged them!
Oh no, all these records are true. How could I have forgotten that the bank has records? Damn it! I thought no one would find out.
Forged? How about we let the police verify them?
Galvin! Think of something! We can't let anyone see these documents!
Onlookers began to whisper to each other.
Gosh, Tracy actually embezzled company funds?
This is a serious crime.
No wonder she bought so many luxury goods recently.
Just then, Galvin rushed out of the office with a sullen expression. It was obvious that he had had a few bad days.
Give me the documents!
He pounced on me frantically, trying to snatch away the evidence. I easily dodged, so he missed and fell to the ground in disgrace. Tracy ran to him, crying.
Galvin! Think of something! We can't let anyone see these documents!
If these records are exposed, we're all doomed.
Galvin struggled to his feet, looking at the irrefutable evidence and finally accepting reality.
I'll sign it. I'll sign the divorce agreement.
He said through gritted teeth.
Damn, Marisa, I'll get back at her. But right now I have to protect myself.
He thought as he pulled a pen from his pocket and signed his name on the agreement, his hand trembling slightly.
The properties and cash are all yours. Consider it my compensation.
Galvin remarked hypocritically.
Those properties were bought with her money anyway, and there's hardly any cash left. Once I'm back on my feet, I'll make her pay.
And Ruben injured my men in the company!
Just then, the office door was pushed open. A burly middle-aged man walked in, followed by 2 bodyguards in black. It was an important figure in the Mafia family, Capo Mario. The entire office fell silent instantly. And everyone lowered their heads. Within the Falcon family, the Capo's position was second only to the underboss.
What happened?
His voice was deep and authoritative. With a heavy Ateroan accent, Galvin immediately ran to him as if seeing a savior.
Mr. Mario!
He pointed at Ruben and me.
These two conspired to frame me! And Ruben injured my men in the company! You must get justice for me!
Mario will help me. I still have a place here.
Mario frowned at us. He was about to speak when his phone suddenly rang.
Wait.
He answered the phone.
Pronto?
A hoarse but authoritative voice came from the other end. Although the content was unclear, Mario's expression changed drastically.
If you say another word, I'll have you thrown into the river to feed the fish!
His voice trembled, clearly shocked by what he had heard. After hanging up, Mario's gaze toward Galvin completely changed. He said coldly.
Galviv, take care.
What? Mr. Mario, what do you mean? I don't understand.
Galvin was in disbelief. Mario uttered.
I'm saying you'd better stay away from Ruben from now on.
After all, he personally mentored Galvin. He still wanted to offer some guidance, but he did not know that all of Ruben's useful strategies were originally my ideas.
Damn it, the person on the phone said Ruben is... No, it can't be.
Mario contemplated. Galvin and Tracy exchanged glances, completely confused. Galvin tried to explain.
Mr. Mario, are you mistaken? Ruben is just a lowly...
Mario roared.
Shut up! If you say another word, I'll have you thrown into the river to feed the fish!
The atmosphere in the office instantly became tense. Galvin and Tracy realized something was wrong and began their last struggle.
You losers! It's all that bitch's fault! She seduced me and then another man!
Galvin pointed at me indignantly.
That penniless scavenger! One day, I'll make him pay!
Tracy joined in the cursing. Mario watched them coldly without intervening. But the murderous intent in his eyes grew stronger. Ruben and I won this open power struggle.
Marisa, you bitch.
A few days later, I was in my studio appraising a newly acquired painting when my phone suddenly rang. I put down my magnifying glass. Ruben's deep voice came through the receiver.
Marisa, there's an event this weekend. Are you interested?
What event?
An annual party that will surprise you.
He paused, his voice becoming even more magnetic.
I look forward to your presence.
The banquet hall was brightly lit and bustling with people coming and going. As soon as I stepped into the venue of the annual peace dinner of the 5 families, I was stopped by my reckless ex-husband.
Marisa, you bitch.
He wore a smug smile, as if the crushing defeat he had suffered in the company had never happened.
Move aside.
I warned coldly. Galvin sneered and reached out to grab my arm.
Do you think you're still that lofty art connoisseur? Without me, you're nothing!
The guests around began to notice the commotion and started to discuss quietly. They were all gloating.
Galvin, you've drank too much.
I tried to bypass him, but he stood firmly in front of me.
I drank too much? I'm clear-headed! I know all about your affair with that poor driver!
His voice grew louder and louder.
If I can make a big fuss here and let everyone know about Marisa's scandal, she's done for.
Just then, the door of the banquet hall opened again.
Why would Crony's godfather come in person?
Ruben came in wearing a simple black suit without any accessories. Galvin pointed at Ruben and laughed.
Look! That peasant's here too! How does he even have an invitation?
Galvin pondered.
Great. Ruben's here. I'm going to expose him in front of everyone.
He continued yelling.
Where's security? Throw this driver out! He doesn't deserve to be here!
Tracy chimed in.
That's him! This violent maniac doesn't deserve to be here!
Several security guards started walking toward Ruben, but they dared not do anything. Just then, the sound of orderly footsteps came from the other end of the hall. An elderly man with gray hair, short stature, but a powerful aura slowly walked in. It was Antonio Crony, the godfather of the rival Crony family. The Crony family was also the most ruthless of the 5 families. The entire hall fell silent instantly. Even breathing could be heard clearly.
Why would Crony's godfather come in person?
The guests' hearts were filled with fear. Antonio walked straight toward Ruben, his steps slow and firm. Then, something shocking happened. Antonio halted in front of Ruben, took off his hat deliberately, and bowed.
Young Mr. Falcone, it's a privilege to meet you. I offer my respect on behalf of the Crony family.
I've known him for 3 years, and he's just a lowly driver!
Galvin and Tracy's smiles froze instantly, their faces turning ghastly pale.
No. No way. Mr. Falcone? How could Ruben be a member of the Falcone family? Isn't he just a driver?
The other members began whispering amongst themselves. Ruben nodded, acknowledging Antonio's show of respect. His demeanor stayed composed, As if this were all foreseen, his voice carried a deep, authoritative tone as he replied.
Mr. Antonio, I appreciate it.
His gaze swept across the place before finally settling on me. He pondered.
This woman. She knew all along, didn't she? What an intelligent woman.
I sensed admiration and something deeper in his eyes. The acknowledgement of a conqueror toward an opponent of equal standing. The other family leaders also began approaching Reuben, offering their respect. Galvin was still making a last-ditch effort. His voice trembled with fear. He screamed frantically.
Impossible! He's a fraud! I've known him for 3 years, and he's just a lowly driver!
This must be a setup. They must have planned this. How can Reuben be the Falcone family heir?
Shut up.
Antonio gave him a cold glance. That glance silenced Galvin instantly, making cold sweat pour down his back.
You knew Reuben's identity long ago!
Tracy realized something was wrong and tried to stop Reuben. She stumbled toward him, tears welling in her eyes. She said pitifully,
Reuben, there must be some misunderstanding between us. I've always loved you.
If he really is the heir to the Falcone family, then I'll be the future godmother. I can't lose this opportunity.
Reuben did not even glance at her. He only coldly uttered,
Get lost.
Those words were as cold as a knife, striking Tracy like a thunderbolt and causing her to stagger backward.
No, this can't be. How could he do this to me?
I watched Reuben, who was now the center of attention. Half of my plan had succeeded. I turned around and walked toward the restroom. My high heels clicking crisply on the marble floor. Behind me, hurried footsteps echoed through the hallway. A moment later, the restroom door flew open with a bang. Tracy had followed me in, her face twisted with rage.
You bitch!
Tracy stared at me with red eyes, her makeup distorted by anger. She hysterically said,
You knew it long ago, didn't you? You knew Reuben's identity long ago! You insidious woman!
It's all her fault. If not for her, I'd be the girlfriend of the Falcone family heir by now. She's ruined everything for me.
I grabbed her hair and pushed her face hard into the cold sink. I looked at her calmly and took out lipstick from my bag to touch up my makeup.
What do you want to say?
Stop pretending!
Tracy pointed at me, her fingers trembling with anger.
You knew Reuben's identity from the very beginning! You deliberately designed Galva and me just to steal him!
She raised her hand and slapped me. I grabbed her wrist and slapped her back. Causing blood to flow from the corner of her mouth. Tracy screamed and covered her swollen cheeks.
How dare you hit me!
I grabbed her hair and pushed her face hard into the cold sink. I said coldly,
Who do you think you are? How dare someone who rose to power with her body lay a hand on me?
I'm going to kill her! I'm going to kill this despicable woman!
I yanked her up. Tracy's face was covered with water droplets, and her makeup was completely smudged.
You're lying!
Tracy screamed, her voice already trembling. I took out a cigarette from... I exhaled a puff of smoke.
Reuben has never loved you.
Tracy screamed.
No! He loves me! We've been together for 3 years! He said he loved me!
He must still love me. He must. We have so many wonderful memories.
3 years? Do you know what he's been thinking for these past 3 years?
Tracy froze, her eyes flickering with unease. I uttered,
He's been thinking about another woman. A girl who died when he was 16. You're just a substitute for her.
You're lying!
Tracy screamed, her voice already trembling.
Lying?
I flicked away my cigarette ash.
That girl had long blonde hair and green eyes, just like you. She died in an attack by a rival family.
Tracy's face grew paler as she wondered.
No, this can't be. But Rubin does often stare at me blankly.
And let me tell you about Galvin's true identity. He's not some rising star. He's a poor kid from the Bronx. A spinless man who climbed the social ladder by using women. He married me because of my money, connections, and status.
You're lying!
Tracy's voice was already choking with tears.
Lying? His father's an alcoholic, and his mother's a prostitute. He started making a living by swindling women out of money when he was 16. Why do you think he married me? Because of love? No. None of this is true.
Tracy contemplated.
He married me because of my money, connections, and status.
I approached her. And you, my dear Tracy, you gambled everything and ended up with a pile of trash. Tears welled in Tracy's eyes as she thought.
No. This can't be. I can't accept it.
As for Rubin, do you think he'd want a woman who betrayed him? Do you think he'd forgive you for abandoning him for money?
I didn't. Tracy's voice trailed off.
You didn't? Then why did you sleep with Galvin? Why did you publicly humiliate Rubin?
Each question pierced Tracy's heart like a dagger. She pondered.
I made a mistake. I really made a mistake.
I'm warning you not to hurt my girlfriend.
Just then, there was a knock at the door.
Marisa?
Rubin's deep and magnetic voice rang. The door opened and Rubin walked in. He glanced at the disheveled Tracy, his eyes devoid of any pity. Then he walked over to me and naturally put his arm around my waist.
I'm warning you not to hurt my girlfriend,
he said to Tracy, his voice calm but carrying an undeniable authority.
Girlfriend?
I looked at him, puzzled. Rubin did not answer. Instead, he took off his black cashmere coat and draped it over my shoulders. The coat still carried his warmth and a faint scent of cologne.
Although Tracy looks a lot like her, only Marissa's wits and methods can help me reclaim and protect the entire Mafia family.
Rubin contemplated. Tracy slumped to the floor, breaking down.
How do you know?
Please. Marisa. Help me.
Galvin appeared outside my studio in a wheelchair. 6 months had passed, and he was no longer the spirited man he once was. He was filthy and rugged with plaster casts on his legs. He looked just like a street beggar.
Damn it. How could I have ended up in this situation? It's all because of that despicable woman.
Over the past 6 months, I used my mind, reading power to help Rubin win battle after battle in the Mafia family power struggle. Rubin's position became increasingly stable, and I also became the person he trusted the most. We tacitly agreed not to make our relationship public, but we had gotten much closer. Galvin was completely removed from the list for embezzlement of company funds and betrayal of the family.
Considering that we were once husband and wife.
He licked his chapped lips, and his voice was hoarse.
Help me. I know I was wrong.
Once she relents, I'll have the chance to hold her hostage and exchange a large sum of money with Rubin to escape from Cavrian. This woman has always been soft-hearted. She wouldn't stand by and do nothing when someone is in trouble.
Galvin wondered. I heard his plan and sneered.
Are you trying to hold me hostage and then ask Rubin for ransom?
I stated his thoughts. Galvin paled instantly, and horror flashed in his eyes. He stammered.
How do you know? How could she possibly know what I'm thinking?
I know everything.
I looked at him coldly, took out my phone, and dialed a number.
Get rid of him.
Galvin screamed in terror.
No! Marissa! You can't do this to me! We were husband and wife! You can't be so heartless!
No. I can't die. I still have so many things to do.
2 bodyguards appeared quickly. They were Ruben's men. They walked expressionlessly toward Galvin, each grabbing one arm of his wheelchair. Galvin struggled frantically.
No! Let me go! Marisa! I beg you! For the sake of our past relationship!
Love? I sneered inwardly. Galvin roared as he was dragged toward a black van.
Marisa! I curse you! I curse you to a terrible death! You'll regret it!
Ruben approached me from behind, dressed in a dark gray suit. Appearing more mature and composed, he assured me,
Everything has been taken care of smoothly. No one will discover him.
I nodded without a trace of remorse. Galvin's death was the result of his own choices.
Marisa.
Ruben suddenly knelt on one knee, pulling a velvet box from his pocket. The box opened, revealing a huge diamond ring sparkling in the sunlight.
Marry me. Half the Falcone family's assets will be transferred to you now.
He said, his voice low and earnest.
This woman deserves everything. She's not only intelligent, but also incredibly shrewd. Only she is the right marriage partner.
I looked at him, knowing this was an evenly matched alliance.
Okay.
I held out my hand, letting him place the ring on my finger. The diamond ring fit my finger perfectly, as if tailor-made for me. The wedding took place 3 months later at a private manor. All the important members of the 5 families were present. It was the grandest wedding in nearly a decade. I wore a $1 million wedding dress. And Ruben wore a custom-made tuxedo. We exchanged vows in front of everyone. Our twins were born a year later, a boy and a girl. Our son looked like Ruben, with deep-set eyes and a strong jawline. Our daughter resembled me, possessing an elegant demeanor and intelligent eyes. Even Don Salvatore, the old godfather who opposed me the most, began praising me highly once he saw the huge profits I brought to the family. He gave me many valuable gifts, villas, antiques, and a set of family heirloom ruby jewelry.
This woman is indeed extraordinary. She has made our family stronger. Ruben made an excellent choice.
Surprise, darling?
Her slightly protruding belly. I returned from Eurona ahead of schedule, intending to give Ruben a surprise, but instead I discovered this scene. 10 years had passed, and I had become the true godmother and mastermind behind the Falcon family. I helped Ruben eliminate all his enemies, consolidate the family's position, and expand our influence. Our twins were now 10 years old. Our children grew up well. Now, my husband was with this woman.
Marsa.
Ruben came out of the bathroom, somewhat surprised.
You're back. Listen to my explanation. Nothing happened.
I found it funny. The condoms were all over the floor, yet he told me nothing had happened.
It seems so.
I answered calmly, putting down the suitcase in my hand.
Make sure she doesn't have any bastards.
Tracy smiled smugly. She was plumper than she was 10 years ago, but still maintained an alluring figure.
I'm pregnant. It's Ruben's baby. Finally. I finally won. This time I'm going to be the true Donna.
I looked at them, feeling nothing. After a decade of marriage, I had come to understand Ruben quite well. He was a practical person, viewing relationships as mere instruments, much like I did.
Ruben, you have 2 choices.
Go ahead, I really didn't do anything.
He leaned against the wall, his expression calm.
First, sign the divorce papers, and you leave with nothing.
Second, make sure she doesn't have any bastards. Ruben picked up the phone from the bedside table without hesitation.
Call the cleaners.
Tracy's smile froze instantly. She looked at Ruben in disbelief.
Ruben? What are you saying? Didn't you say you love me?
Her voice trembled.
No! Ruben! You can't do this!
Ruben looked at her coldly, his eyes devoid of any warmth.
You heard me. Foolish woman. Does she think I'd give up everything for her?
10 minutes later, 2 men dressed in black entered the bedroom. They were the family's cleaners, experts at dealing with such situations.
No! Ruben! You can't do this! We have a baby! I'm carrying your child!
Tracy cried out as she was being pulled away. Before she was dragged out the door, I approached her. Tracy's eyes widened, filled with despair.
My marriage to Ruben was a power play from the start. He won't give up everything for you, darling.
No, this isn't true.
Tracy contemplated.
Anne,
I whispered in her ear.
Ruben had a vasectomy after our twins were born.
Tracy turned ghastly pale.
Why? Your beauty is your weapon, but your biggest mistake was handing that weapon to a man instead of holding it yourself.
I remarked in the end. I turned around and closed the heavy oak door. Tracy's last screams echoed from outside, followed by deathly silence.
Why?
I asked Ruben.
She threatened to tell the children. I can't let anyone threaten our family.
He replied calmly.
This woman understands me. She knows what's truly important.
Ruben pondered. 40 years later, Ruben passed away from illness. Our son Leo became the new godfather. And our daughter Isabella inherited my art business, becoming a world-renowned collector. I sat alone on the manor terrace, the warm sunlight bathing me. Roses bloomed in the garden, their fragrance carried by the breeze. In the distance, the azure ocean stretched out as seagulls soared freely in the sky. I slowly closed my eyes, reflecting on the ups and downs of my life. From a simple art connoisseur to wielding immense power, I had experienced betrayal, revenge, power struggles, and witnessed countless lives and deaths. But I had never regretted a single decision. I had never lost in this life.